can filter things here, right?
Right.
We deal with quite a few brokers that are really full logistics providers. They're not living on the load boards and vetting carriers and kind of that crazy transactional life that's happening right now in that layer, right? They live down here. They live in this area where they're actually fully giving logistics solutions and helping people. And what I thought was probably one of the most interesting things, and if you don't mind, we're going to rerun the exact same search that he did. But he's, this cat's looking for vans just outside of Atlanta. And what I thought was probably the most interesting thing was he was like, I don't even really want to deal with anybody that's not, that's at a high risk.
Right.
And so he came in. You can obviously see, go up real quick. There's 257 pages right here, right, of dry vans that we've identified in the Atlanta area within the mile radius that you said. But he went down a little bit further and just kind of kept going. And he was like, I need larger companies because I need spotted options. And then go down a little bit. And he just keep going a little bit further. Look at this. Hiring risk. He just was like, I'm not dealing with anyone that's elevated. Just give me people that are decent that I can spend time working through and making sure, right?
Yep.
And so now we went from how many pages?
It was like 257 to 8.
Yeah, exactly. Now we have the exact list of people that they need to go out and reach out to. There's 200. I heard through the grapevine, we had this conversation earlier this week.
Right.
I've heard that they've already identified 2 carriers that can literally spot trailers that are legitimate carriers that have good new equipment. And he was able to find them within, a moment's notice. So those carrier sales guys that are out there that are trying to build those relationships with, those carriers, those carriers that can make a difference for those brokers that are truly finding solutions. We just saved you a weird amount of time.
Right.
I mean, 2 clicks and we have a good list.
Right.
So
I'm going to touch base on some of the updates really quick too here, guys. So you're saying it's a new Outlook or a new UI, if you will. We looked at and we heard some of your guys' input, what you really weren't using, what you were using.
Yeah.
So we cleaned it up a lot to kind of free up some space.
Yeah.
But if you look inside the carrier profile, a couple of things that we do, we'll show you the carrier equipment when it was last inspected, right? So you'll see their map if they have inspections. This guy doesn't, it looks like. But you're going to see recent changes to contact information. So, physical address, mailing address, maybe it's a phone number. So you'll see changed 1 year ago, they changed their physical address. Yesterday when I was working at T. Harris, these changes right here, the address and mailing address, it was like 2 months.
It was just a couple months
ago. Really
ago.
recent.
60 days.
And it showed up red. So we flagged it as red.
Nice.
So you'll see those changes. We'll show you VoIP detection if they're using VoIP phones. And then we'll continue to show you who they've hauled for. So you'll see hauled for down here.
I like the notes. I like this section right here too. Just a quick snapshot. Go down real quick.
And sorry, the inspections are right here.
Oh, yeah. I'm a big fan of just the time they took. Our programmers, our developers, go down a little further. Keep going to the – yeah. This really talks about the risk radar. You guys wonder, well, what's in the risk radar? How are you determining this? And, a lot of carriers reach out to us because they're the ones that are really impacted. But, we want to show you all these things. Are they out of service? Are they crashes? They have inspections. Do they, what's going on with the risk radar? We take into consideration a lot of things. Now we're searching good carriers, right? We're searching people that are out there. But let's look at some bad ones.
Yes.
Let's go the other way and find the hyenas that are in the crowd. You know what I mean?
That's what I was going to do too.
Yeah.
I love this. And what you're seeing here, like this guy here, let's just do high risk, but you're seeing a percentage, right? So this guy has 97%. We are looking at this company who has
go back up and get rid of like maybe some of the bigger carriers here. Just
you want to do
just do regular. Just get rid of the carrier sizes.
Okay,
there you go.
So what that percentage is telling everyone is this carrier among its peers. So if this guy has 6 power units, a dry van.
Yep.
If you look at other one that's similar to him, he's high risk, 95%.
Yeah.
Right.
Look at this. This already breaks it down. You don't even have to click into the carrier. Go back in there. Just right there. Look at this. It just breaks it all down for you. We want to give you a quick snapshot once you get your mouse over there.
Yeah, why is he high risk? On the right-hand side, you're going to see well, no DOT inspections, phone number changed within the last 12 months, email was changed, address was changed, right? So a lot of that info was changed. Let's see what else we got. Obviously no inspections. That's a huge one.
Yeah. Phone number issues.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of going on. A couple matching companies.
So it's really good things to look at. And what's nice is too, if you're a freight broker or a dispatcher, you in the matter of 30 seconds or less, you're going to find yourself low risk carriers.
Yep.
That makes sense to you.
Yep.
Which is nice. So let's see here. Obviously, this is the best tool to avoid double broker. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And now we have the option where you see VoIP. So
there's that good example.
Majority of the time that we're seeing that VoIP, any of these lists that you're seeing out on Reddit or you're seeing out on these major sites, and we double check them, we see consistent patterns in that world. So our goal with all this is how do we find and help you find carriers that are not going to get you in trouble.
Right. And if you're in that carrier sales role, I know a couple of people I talked to this week are, you still have that ability to find the carriers that make sense. Obviously, this list doesn't because they're high risk, but if you wanted to find those carriers that do make sense, they're low risk, start checking them and add them into your list. Export that list.
Yeah,
really good things to be doing to kind of obviously keep yourself organized, but to create your email campaigns, do your phone calls.
Yeah.
You can call out of our platform with Logistics Plus, which I love.
Yeah, I do too.
Because I'm lazy, but and we still have the monitoring as well, so you can monitor your guys.
Yep.
Make sure you're staying up to date with them.
Yeah. Anytime you get, go up real quick, Nate. Imagine I'm just trying to think, from a broker standpoint, how do I use the system day to day, right? And what we really wanted to make sure is we made it simple for you to, hey, I just posted a load on Dad or Truck Stop. How do I look up this carrier, right? And you can literally just go into that top bar up there and just type in their DOT, and we'll show you, just throw in a number. It doesn't matter. We always kind of go to the same guy. But this is Fremont Contract Carriers. They're a company out of Nebraska, 406 power units. Looks like they've had some crashes. They got flatbed van bulk. But we want to give you a quick snapshot. Do they have authority? Do they have inspections? And where are they at with a risk? Now, if you want to dive deeper into what they do, here you go. Right. We're going to show you the overview page. We're going to give you the cargo fleets, what they've got going on with their actual deals. It's blurred out right now, guys, for the YouTube sake of things. We'll show you matching companies, recent crashes, inspections. This is beautiful too right here. If you use Fremont and they're out. Find matching carriers, right? Here you go. Here's 10 pages of people that allow you to find other people that are in his area, right? So I love that. We always keep in mind that, ops and sales should never be separated. So we're always going to help you find more shippers, right? Or you're going to find, how do you bring the carrier guys into the sales world and the sales guys into the carrier world? Well, we want to intermingle those conversations, and they're right there in that carrier.
Oh, for sure, man.
I didn't read what Michael said. Michael, what's up? Good morning, man. How are you?
He's saying that he got an email from us, sort of a big outreach. Yeah, we're stepping up our marketing for sure. And I got to be thankful for the people out there that are referring people to us. I appreciate you guys for doing that. It just means a lot to us.
Yeah.
And the Google reviews mean a lot to us as well. If you have a good experience with us, we'd love to hear it and hear more about that, right? So,
yeah. And if you had a bad experience, honestly.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
We're not a cup for everybody, you know what I mean? We want to help and see people grow in this industry, whether it's with eCarrierCheck or not. Now, obviously, we're trying to provide a competitive, extremely competitive way to not only vet your carriers, but to find shippers all in one platform at a very minimal rate. Right. I've seen a lot of sourcing, for shippers be, 500 plus, right? So let's get into finding shippers. Let's get into finding carriers all in one platform. So,
yep, for sure. And, this is Jared is running kind of a quick example of how he's, vetting a carrier on the spot. This is a site to have a tab open on your screen. And if you're living off the load board, this is what you should be having up and vetting. Look how quick I pulled that guy up. If he's calling on a flatbed van and bulk, and let's say you have a reefer load out there, I'm probably not going to spend a whole lot of time talking to this carrier.
Right.
or maybe it's a hot shot, right?
Yeah.
So like, you kind of see where I'm going with that is, many ways to vet.
Oh yeah,
Look how quick we were
go into the
vetting.
carrier real quick.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite things that we added in here. Go to cargo fleet. I love this. Go down. Now you can see this is straight up. I love this. Now we're showing you VINs. For any of you that actually haven't seen this, so now we're showing you VINs. You can actually go in and see the different types of equipment that these carriers do have that we see from the FMCSA.
Sleeper cab.
Yeah, exactly. There's the VIN number. There's the axle counts. All these things, and then we show you when we've seen them last right?
1 month ago.
Hey, we saw them a month ago. We seen them this month ago. So it's definitely one of those things that we're trying to make sure to give you a quick rundown of how many tractors, trailers, what types that we've seen inspected wise. All those things are all right there. It's just in a quick snapshot for you. So
yeah, this just proves my point. Like equipment types that we've seen, right? They don't have a reefer. It looks like So why would they call it a reefer load? So really good things. I love this here. We're here to give you that. If you have that gut feeling anyways on a carrier,
walk away,
right?
Yeah.
But this is how you vet. This is how you essentially do your homework to understand, well, is this going to be a good fit for our company to haul this load? Every carrier you hire, it's that shipper is going to understand, oh, you're not finding great carriers.
Absolutely.
We're going to have an issue.
Yeah.
So if you want to, strengthen your relationship with your shipper, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
Let them know you have a great sourcing tool,
Yeah.
great vetting tool, whatever it may be. This is it. So
yeah, simple enough.
If you contact 10 potential customers and give your info to them, what percentage of them do you think would actually return customers? So,
that's a good number. That's a good question. I saw the other day, I can't remember who this cat was. I'm connected with a lot of people online on LinkedIn, and I got a sneeze coming. So if I go off, I apologize. It's one of the guys I talk with. He always is like, "What color is your sneeze?" I was like, I don't know. It's green probably, or maybe yellow, but I can't say that I've done a color wheel while I've just let go. You know what I mean? Like, either way, this is an interesting question because this guy was like, "Hey, cold calling's dead. Don't do it." And cold calling isn't for everybody, right? But if you reach out to 10 potential customers, give them your info. There's some variabilities to this question, Michael, I think that may come into play. If it's the first time that you've reached out to them, it's a little bit cold, right? You're going to have to warm up that water. I think that's something pretty important. Theoretically, just based on numbers that I see, 2 out of 10, right? But is there a possibility that you could up that number with continuing to warm up that water, continuing to build value, to continue to see if you can make an impact for them, right? Everybody has their own goals, right? We all have a mortgage. Well, we all have our own goals, right? Everybody watching today, we have our goals. We want to make more money to make it easier. We want some financial freedom in life, right? But we also have to think about what other people's goals are. There's got to be empathy involved in brokering. I should write a book on empathetic brokering, right? Or empathetic transportation, because we got to understand that other people have goals too. So how do you get them to their goals? Maybe that number goes up to 3 or 4. That's not a bad number. We're not for everybody either. eCarrierCheck, but we hope to provide enough value in our software and this shows so that we can help you understand, hey, I got to keep following up with this guy, or I got to keep following and sending him value. I saw the most interesting article the other day, and I got to tell you, I sent this out to I bet I sent it out to 700 people, and it was from our competitor. It was a competitor. It was a really well-written article about how RFQs should be set up. I sent it to a bunch of people, and I'm like, this is a great article. I hope you find some value in this. Just in case you look at their website, I swear we're cool.
Yeah.
But it was a great article, and it was really informative, and it gave them those things, because I don't know who I can give more information to, but I want them to get to their goals too. We got to keep that in mind.
For sure.
So
That's really good.
To answer your question, I'm going to go 2 out of 10. If you warm them up, you provide enough value, 4 would be my opinion. Yeah. Just based on that.
I like that. For the price of the program, with everything it can do for you, I don't think there's a better program right now. You hit it on the head, man.
Thank you.
Depending on where, thank you so much. And we're going to be meeting with Josh next week.
I like Josh.
And we're going to do some sales stuff with him.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for that.
Speaking of value, man, this cat right here, this cat used to be a diesel mechanic. I mean, if anyone's going to talk trucks, he's talking long nose Pete's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's talking equipment. This guy understands equipment. You have a lot of value to add to the industry, brother. You got to keep your nose to the grind and just keep moving. Because I know you're transitioning from greasy rags to sweatshirts and doing those things. But
turtlenecks.
That's what we should have. We should have turtleneck day.
Let's do a turtleneck next.
I would love turtleneck day. It's right here.
And Joshua too.
I love turtleneck.
What's nice about our system? What's nice about our system is you can run as many searches as you like out of your pipeline, man. You know what I mean? Like obviously, you can handle so much in a pipeline, but make sure you're working everything and staying organized. But you're not buying tokens or credits. You can, if a shipper doesn't work out, you'll get a feel for it.
Yeah.
Kick it out of your pipeline, add a new one.
Not all of our leads are great.
Right.
It's that simple. But we have lots of them in there. So, I mean, when you have thousands of leads to pick from, I'm sure you can find 50 that can make it work.
For sure.
Keep cooking here. Ryan's on. Had a 56-minute intro call with a multi-billion-dollar company this week. The lead was sourced 100% through ECC. I knew more about the company I was prospecting than their own employee. Boy, isn't that the world? It's so interesting to kind of hit on that. You know what I mean? Yeah. First off, if you're going 56 minutes, just a quick thought process here.
That's a good call.
You have some incredible questions. There is some incredible value that's going into a 56-minute call. Hell, I don't even have a 56-minute call with my wife. I need to do a better vetting process on her. Like I'm like, honey, we gotta hammer through this. Let's talk. Honestly, 56 minutes is incredible, and you're just asking some really good questions. Obviously, I hope Ryan that you were able to hook this guy. You know what I mean? Like hopefully you're able to just kind of bring him into the house and do those things. I love that you found this lead. Good luck, guys. Nick Colazzi.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
I like
Sorry,
this
I might have said his name wrong.
Joshua says the VINs that we provide for the carriers is a big plus for him. He still has connections in service centers, and I can look up the maintenance history in the company. Ooh, that's a different kind of added value
deep.
there.
That's deep.
For people that are wondering what's going on, he's talking about this.
Yeah, just the cargo fleet. Just scroll down right here.
Right here.
There are a lot of shippers. When I was hauling for, when I was brokering, this is back in the day. I used to work with Ryan, right? But we would haul for GM, right? And they always required that the equipment was 10 years or newer.
Okay.
You didn't have a choice. So what we would have to do is we would literally have to send the VIN number in before we even sent a truck in.
Yep.
This is back in the day. This is old school brokering, right? We're like faxing in VIN numbers. Hey, we got these 10 trucks coming in. Here's their VINs, right? That was wild. You know what I mean? Like it was just a different time. But a lot of people are always wondering, well, how old is their equipment? What is needed? A lot of shippers are really wanting as much value in their equipment as they are a partner. Is the carrier showing up with good equipment? Is it solid equipment? Is it trustworthy? You want to make sure you don't have holes on your flatbed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Jared, anything you would like to touch on before we head over to the shippers?
No.
I'm jacked for this.
Let's warm up the fire here.
Let's warm it up.
Let's just
really quick. If you're here today,
I'm going to get my turtleneck back on.
Whether you're a subscriber or not, if you drop your email in the comments right now, I'm giving away a free account.
You're not.
Is it because I put 1 month free? It is because of turtleneck. You're going to get 1 month free. Come see what it's like.
I love
this. You can get a lot done in a month, I promise you.
Yeah.
When we dropped our new shipper update, Ryan had I know he had this really awesome call recently, but that first week, he had like 2 or 3 good calls.
This guy
shippers.
Just was humming.
That was in the first week. If you find a shipper in that first month and you move a load or 2, that pays for your subscription.
$150.
Pays for your did I say prescription?
I think you did.
I think I said prescription.
We're not giving out prescriptions.
We're not
this isn't Walgreens. I'd like to put in a disclaimer. Nate is also just, he's on a prescription.
I'm on prescription right now. Oh gosh.
Tire Killer, what's up,
What's
brother?
up, man?
God, it's good to see you. Where are you at? I'm just curious where you're at. I'm so interested. I always like to hear where he's at. Did he get a truck back on the road?
I bet he's about to ask you that.
He's trying to make up 4 weeks in a month. Like he's been out for quite a while.
Yeah, shout out Chris Jolly. He's amazing.
Yeah, Chris Jolly and I had a nice conversation. Check out that podcast. Really wonderful conversation. I find him not only a joy in this industry just because of his drive and dedication, but he and I just enjoy life. And so I think that's really important. So
yeah. Shout out here burning up the roads. I get it, man.
Baggy, what's up?
Life's good. Hey,
it's
Baggy.
good to see you.
How's
your week going? It's Wednesday. How's the week going? Like, what's working and what's not? I'd like to know. Yeah. Honestly, I really would.
Let's go over here really quick. Drop your emails in the chat. Our shipper update. Obviously, we dropped this, about almost a week and a half ago. Yep. My words, it's badass.
Yeah. We can cuss on this show.
We can cuss on this show, and I'm going to do it. And I'm not selling prescriptions. Good afternoon, Jerome.
Bro,
what's up, man?
Oh, he's in Kansas. Getting the truck back Monday. Good for you.
That's huge.
What are you doing in Kansas? Wait a minute. Did you go to the diamond mine? You got to take 10 minutes and go to the diamond mine for me, please. Chris Jolly is the man. I agree.
He is the man.
He's totally the man. This guy's insane.
That's your life so far.
Now I'm debating whether I should start as a dispatcher or broker. Just go all in. Become a broker.
What's up, John?
What's going on?
We just had a phone call before we hopped on over here.
Just go all in and become a broker, brother. You'll love it. I promise.
Yeah.
I promise.
Yeah, for sure. And what you're about to see too here, John, you'll start even thinking more that you should become one. So
yeah.
We talked about sourcing, vetting carrier. We talked about our awesome update.
Yep.
Let's look through some of the shipper. The hot shipper features we have on here because it's different than what we used to have.
Yep.
And one of the hot features right now that's being clicked is our industry button.
Mm.
So you can get a new list, depending on where you're starting. If you don't have the niche or maybe there's something that you haven't thought of, this is a really good feature to be clicking, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But also, if you have a niche in dry vans, why not find those shippers that will potentially, be using dry vans?
Yeah.
And hopefully you either have relationships or maybe you're just trying to get your foot in the door.
Yep.
But, we still have the pictures here. Let's just run a quick search really quick. And we go to Atlanta. Let's find some dry van shippers. And then bang. You can see here I left some notes on here already.
I like that.
One guy looks like is a customer. I'm not actually a broker, so I just kind of did that as a demo. Looks like we got a pass lead here.
Put a note in there.
But the interesting thing is how much information we have on these companies.
Yeah.
You'll see how we got 6 emails, a phone number. Oh, this company here, we got 28 contacts.
Yep.
These are leads to that company.
Yep.
To either help you on that email or that cold call.
Yeah, the one thing, scroll down real quick for me, will you? Scroll down. Let's just go into 3A real quick. Or go into 3M. They're a humongous shipper, but let's just for the sake of it, right? When you're making calls, whether you're a carrier or broker, number one, do your homework, right? You got to just do your homework and take a moment. How to vent carriers. It doesn't got a fever and the prescription is more eCarrierCheck. Oh my Lord.
Let me get you right.
I love that. How to vet carriers that doesn't have inspections. Boy, that's an interesting question, Jerome. Pardon me, is there a feature that allowed you to get credit checks?
That's a great question.
Man, there's not. Dan, that's such a great question. We don't have that feature built in yet. We're a bootstrap company that's hammering out, leads or, updates as quick as we can. Yep. This one's on the list, just not something that's on there at the moment, but it's not for, pardon the ignorance is not is a great question. Yep. Good question. A lot of people ask it.
Love that feedback.
So
how do you vet carriers that doesn't have any inspections? So let's touch base on that.
Yeah. So, in my mind, a couple things that are going on with this. If it's a local thing that you're trying to do, Jerome, like let's say this is, just 100-mile haul, 200-mile haul, right? It's something local, very intra. A lot of those carriers don't have, inspections, local, right? And so now you're going to kind of take some interesting approaches to these carriers. I would do, I'm going to steal Dan's idea here. I'd probably look up a credit on these companies. see if they've got a credit established, right? If they've got weird changes in the system where they've changed their address, their phone number, all those things, and they don't have inspections, I'd probably run away, right? But if you run credit on them, maybe in some regards, there's a lot of different credit company or credit systems out there. Factoring companies, a lot of factoring companies offer credit. So it's just right out there in that neck of the woods. Pick up the phone, do your research, do some homework, and understand who they are as a company. If they're coming to you off a load board and they don't have inspections, maybe just wait for the next call. I know that's not fair for carriers that are just getting going, but you really got to protect yourself in these markets. A lot of calls right off the load boards. We hear it every day. You post a load, you get the calls. And to go back to Michael's thing, I bet 2 out of 10 are going to be, depending on the lane and what type of equipment. But I bet a percentage of your calls from load boards are getting that aspect. So if they don't have inspections, do homework, credit, call them, check their websites, check those things, and start to work through the process of, hey, I know that you don't have any inspections. Can I call a couple of your customers and just verify that they work with you, or get some credit references or trade references, whatever's not intrusive to them? Obviously, some people don't want to share with you who their clients are, but maybe let's find out who their number one mechanic is so we can figure out, are they paying their bills or not? Right?
I like that.
It's simple enough.
That's good value, man.
Yeah. So,
Tire Killer, man, we freaking love you, man. We appreciate your support. You're always here when you can. Even on the hard days, you're here, so I appreciate you.
He is. Yeah, man, I tell you what, this cat's had a wild month. You know what I mean? Truck blows up. I don't know what that bill was, if you want to share it with our audience. But I bet it wasn't pretty. He's got a mean looking truck. I've seen it. I like your trailer. He just takes a lot of pride in his stuff. That's I'm a big fan of that. He's not killing tires, people. No. I don't know why everyone has to judge him. He's not out there just grit roading it here. Come on now, let's go. All right, back to the shippers. God, you get me off track here. I tell you, it's turtleneck day. I'm going back to turtleneck day. It's turtleneck day.
All right, so we're in the shipper 3M company. You can see how, first off, you get a company description, not prescription. But you see, we have a lot of their social media, it looks like. So you can tell they're already big. Yeah. Like X, YouTube, Insta, right? All that's there. And then LinkedIn, you're going to see their company website, locations. This company's founded in 1902.
They're old. 3M's wildly big.
Right.
I think a couple things that are, again, when you are starting to look for leads, whether you're on Google or a competitor site, you got to do your homework.
Yeah.
And our goal with this was, we don't want to give you a book to do homework. We want to just give you a quick, this is before we had like ChatGPT. This is how old I am. There was this thing called Cliff Notes. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but anytime we had a book report, this guy is finding Cliff Notes.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's funny is I would go to the neighboring town, go to their library, better library, by the way, classier town. And I would go get the Cliff Notes, right? We're giving you Cliff Notes. Yeah, look at that. Boom. That's a mic drop right there. 56K. What did you get done, by the way? I'd be curious I would be curious on what all you got done. Did you get your windows tinted too, or a new paint job, or is this just all mechanical?
Oh shit.
Tiger says, if you're ear booking with Carrier Zero, just have them on GPS tracking. Most of the frauds will disappear. Yeah, exactly. Nobody wants to do it. You kind of hit it on the head. I also have seen. I've also seen. Where they'll want to do a text kind of locate concept instead of a full-on GPS thing. It's kind of an interesting way of going about things.
Yeah.
Because I can actually, I've seen this. I had a guy demo this for me, so this is sick, by the way. I can make any phone go across the country via VPN, and it'll just track that I'm like following the eclipse. Like, I've seen some crazy stuff. So there's some weird, crazy technology out there. Just throwing it out there.
Josh said Cliff Notes saved helped him in high school.
Now nobody knows what Cliff Notes is. You just ask ChatGPT, hey, give me a snapshot of what's going on with this account or this book, and it'll give you a nice thing.
So these are the Cliff Notes.
These are the Cliff Notes, though. So now we're real quick because I think this is important. We know they're a huge shipper, so that should give you an idea real quick in my mind of, well, I could probably get into them, but this fish is going to take a lot longer to get in, right? You're not going to just friggin' cold call them and get in the first day, most likely, right? These are mega shipping companies. Yeah. You might get a name, you might get an email, you might get a website that they vet people with, but go down a little bit further. Obviously, we show you how many employees, we show you the different types of equipment that they're utilizing. And if we go down, we're not going to, but it's got the carriers that are hauling for them. So go back up here, and now we're going to give you some insights, right? This is where you're doing your homework. Go into insights real quick. We want to give you a quick understanding from a trucking concept of what they're doing. Financial results. Guess what? Most companies spend 6 to 10, in some cases even further up the scale, but 6 to 10% of their money, of their revenue is spent on supply chain, right? And that number is probably inflated a little bit. It's probably 8 to 15, right? So if you look at this, you're thinking, well, what's their adjusted earnings per share and all this fiscal? You're like, why does this matter to me? Well, it does, because you want to know how much they spend. Bingo, bango, bongo. We'll also show you, locations or key strategies. We're out there looking to help you make it easier. We also pull in key contacts. You can set reminders, and we'll try to find anybody that says logistics or shipping or supply chain if they have it, right? That's the big thing right there. So keep the party going, and then I'll go back to the other thing. Contact info. We want to show you the different email formats that we can find, phone numbers, local phone numbers. Sometimes just finding those things are impossible. How many of you have actually looked up, you're just Googling? I've done this, where you're just Googling Dallas location, 3M location, phone number. You're just, well, we already pulled it in here for you. Right. Here you go. Right. And then here's some locations. Bingo, bango, bongo, right there. We just show them for you. There's a difference between the yellow and the blue. We're just showing them for you. So like I said, not every shipment or not every lead is good. We've all seen that. If you're on Google, well, hell, you don't know if they even ship really. Right. We know here at least they ship because of how we source our leads. But in this particular case, now you're just sitting there going, well, what next, right? And I think this is probably the most interesting thing. Now, this will get bigger as we snowball, okay? Yeah. When you click on this, now we're like, hey, how do I find more companies that are like them? Right. Go back in. Just go back real quick. Click on like something random, like electronics. Go into electronics. You know what I mean? Now we're looking for like just some crazy stuff, right? Right. So anytime you can mimic success mimics itself, right? So if you read a lot of history books, which I do, which, by the way, I got to tell you about this Michael Jordan book I'm listening to right now. Incredible stories. You remember the crazy deal that they put out on Netflix, or
the Last Dance?
The Last Dance, Michael Jordan. So I was listening to this thing about Michael Jordan and Steve Kerr and their relationship, and they got into, God, this was so incredible, so incredible. So I watched The Last Dance. I love that show. In fact, honestly, I've watched it, I think, twice now.
Same.
If I had no kids and a wife, I'd probably be on my 5th or 6th. But Steve Kerr and Jordan got into this crazy frigging, like it was right before the finals. They were doing like a quick walkthrough practice, not a heated one or anything like that. Well, they got into it. Kerr pushed Jordan. Jordan came back, popped him in the eye, right? And it was so interesting. Jordan went off. Jackson kicked him out of practice. Came back. He apologized to Kerr. Ever since then, though, him and Kerr, best friends. Really? He felt like he could trust him more than anybody on the team because of that altercation. So sometimes, I don't even know where I'm going with this, but
sometimes you get punched in the eye.
Sometimes you get punched in the eye. But either way, real quick back to the industries. Sorry, I just get so excited.
Are you okay?
Such a good book. I know. But I love being able to mimic success and
Yeah.
find those other companies. That's where I was going with this. Is I just love being
Right.
able to go in and go, hey, I need to find more manufacturing, or I need to find the ways to mimic success. Right?
And you've done this throughout your brokering career as well, from the times that we've had our beverages, whether it's an alcoholic one or a coffee, you've told me ways you found success. Maybe it's a specific region.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a specific, industry.
Yeah.
Right. So you found ways to find success. And this is a good way to do it. If you're
Same
killing
thing.
it in electronics or maybe moving, automotive parts, whatever it may be, let's stick to it. Let's
call
continue
their
to grow.
competitors.
Call their competitors, right.
Just keep being able to talk.
Exactly. And that's what's nice about this site. At the click of a button, less than 10 seconds, you're going to find a whole list of leads to do that.
And if there's not, we're continuing to look for companies. We're continuing to scrape. Our snowball is going to continue to gain traction as we head into 25 and our goals there. So.
So Jerome was asking that question because he's a carrier that doesn't have inspections and he runs the Midwest.
I love that. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that, Jerome.
No.
I bet you are fighting the fight, right? A couple thoughts here, Jerome. You're probably asking this, and this would be my opinion. I'm just assuming some things here, so stick with me for a moment, okay? I don't know how old you are, but it'd be interesting to see how old he is, and not so much in age, in company. You look from the picture like you're 31. I'm just throwing out a number, but let me know if I'm wrong there, if you're 31 or not. But a couple things. If you're asking that question, most likely there's pain points in that question, right? The pain points are you're finding loads off load boards and you're not being able to be hired because you have zero inspections. That would be my opinion in this situation. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that's what I'm just throwing out there, right? What I would start to do, Jerome, is really take a moment. Don't take a moment, but take some serious thought in how to find shippers on your own. Okay. I know you got to pay the bills. So we got to find a balance between these things. But what I would do right now, if I'm you, hey, I know I don't have inspections, but here's 15 references of people that I work with currently. Here's my credit score. Here's my equipment. Here's a picture of today's paper and me and my truck. Here's things that really try to do things, but I would take a real serious dive into trying to find some local shippers that you can start working with and just start to get some inspections on your own, because you're not trying to find loads off load boards, but you actually have a shipper. So take a moment today, drive around in your car. It's cheaper than your truck, and find some people and just see if they can let you ship with them. You know what I mean?
It sounds like a lot of that transparency and just being open about your company. And
yeah. Hey, man, I just started. I got a trucking company. I'm good at this. I've been driving for 15 years for 3 other companies, whatever it may be. And take your credit seriously. Take your inspection seriously, but do it in your own terms. Don't rely on the load boards to dictate your future.
Right. Jerome, are you drive-in or flatbed tire killer?
He's driving. Yeah.
Oh, driving. Okay.
He's
cool.
drive-in. I love this guy. I'm a big fan. I love that you're watching. But yeah, we got to find you a shipper. We got to find you a way, and you got to pick up the phone and just introduce yourself and what you do and who you like, the loads that you like, and see if you can find a way to get there. So
what's up, Adam? DIY Semi.
DIY. This guy is incredible.
Is.
Anybody that hasn't got on his website or
his YouTube
channel, not his website, his YouTube channel is so full of, honestly, he just put out, I don't know when either I watched an old one or I watched this one, but he just put out this thing about batteries. When was this? Maybe it was a long time ago. No. Here, it was 8 days ago. How to replace and clean up leaking truck batteries. Okay, I'm not a guy in the truck. I watched this thing from start to finish, and I gained more information about leaky batteries than I probably have ever thought there were out. So anybody's coming through gearing, let me know. I'll check and see if you got leaky batteries. DIY has trained me. I'm set. I can get you to where you need to be. This I can't get enough of this guy. Yeah. He is so full of information. If you're a driver, check out. If you're a broker, you can learn more about this than you can ever imagine.
Right.
So
yeah, go to DIY Semi on YouTube. Great channel. Tire Killer got it. You name it, he got it done on that truck.
Oh my gosh.
Let me see here. Let me see.
DIY,
Business credit or personal credit?
I personally would focus on your business credit to get it up and running. Okay. Your personal credit score is important, but if you can get your business credit up, just go to the friggin' bank, get a credit card with 200, even if it's a debit card, just to start building your credit. I think that's really, really important that you start to work on building your credit.
Where's you located for the inspections? Jerome, where are you located, man? So here's interesting too.
How do you say his name? Tigran?
Tigran? That might be off.
I like his name though.
Yeah, he's saying if I'm not wrong, you can pull up to your nearest weigh station and get an inspection voluntarily. Just make sure you have your PPW and employment are all good. Or equipment
are all good. Yeah, you have to get an inspection every year no matter what, right?
Mm-hmm. But those roadside inspections are probably what they're doing.
Look at this. DIY has a 10-minute rant on your business credit when you have nothing better to do with your life. Honestly, I hope you make a video about this. If not, we should have you on our show.
Let's talk.
We should totally get you on the show and just go into this because this is such an important thing. I know that people are dependent on load boards and this inspection thing and all that, but there are some serious people out there that are working. Jerome Jones, this is a cat that's trying to build a business, that's trying to support a family or support something. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just a hobby. Maybe he likes to fly friggin' remote control planes. Right. I don't know. That's all my TikTok is full of right now. I can't get enough of remote control planes and these guys that are flying like these $20,000 remote control planes. I watch so much of it.
I like the boats.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair. I like the boats too.
He's tried that. They rejected him.
Yeah, I'm sure they have. Translates better life. Yeah, exactly.
But back to that inspection part. Yeah. You're going to say something on that?
You do have to get an inspection every year. But that's just something that it's just a basic thing. It doesn't actually go on, we're not seeing roadside inspections and things like that. That doesn't get reported into the FMCSA.
Right.
So that you know. So
right. And that's what brokers are looking for, are those road
signs, we want to see inspections, right. You know what I mean? And now that's not everything. Like I said, Jerome, It's not everything. Yeah. There's other ways to do this, but I think don't let your future get dictated by the load boards. Go out and find a shipper today. And if it doesn't work today, go again tomorrow. And if it doesn't work tomorrow, go again the next day. But you got to keep cooking. It has been open since 2020. It's already been active almost 4 years or close. Oh, he's 33.
Close.
Next week's show, folks, I'm guessing ages. I want to see pictures in the comments. Them you guys are the best. Glad I tuned in. T. Landy, thanks for being on, brother. We appreciate it. Or it could be a gal, and I appreciate her too. I'm not sure there.
Yeah. What's really quick? I know we got a couple minutes left here. Like I said, I'm giving away 1 month free subscription. Drop your email in the chat.
Yeah. Hit us up. We want to help somebody.
Exactly. This site can really change some lives. We've met with many people that are off load boards because they built such amazing relationships. But this does go hand in hand with a load board,
Absolutely.
right? And be honest about that, right?
It's your full package business.
It is.
Here's trucks, here's brokers, here's carriers.
Right. I mean, just the amount of good leads and the amount of information we have on these leads for $150 a month.
Yeah.
Like I said, you book a load that month with a new shipper, it's paid for.
Yeah.
Right. So it really does go hand in hand.
Jerome, something else that you can take into consideration too, by the way, just throwing it out there. We obviously show brokers, and honestly, here's what I'd do for you too. Send us an email, support@eCarrierCheck.com. Give us the city you're in. I'll send you a list of every broker within 50 miles of you that has a website, a Facebook page, something that they're a serious broker. Take your truck, drive into their friggin' parking lot and say, hey, here's what I do. Here's my equipment. I want to work with you. I'm not a double broker. I'm here.
Yeah.
Boy, that makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So hit us up, support@eCarrierCheck.com. Send me your location, and we'll send you back every broker within 50 miles. Honestly, we don't. It's free. Just let us know, man. We want to help you out. How does the carrier check? I'm not sure necessarily what Monterey is asking there. Do you?
Not sure, but really quick. Josh said that he'd love to help you out. Gosh, I love our community.
I do too. People are just willing to help.
Yeah,
I just love it.
How does the eCarrierCheck?
A couple things real quick, just a general observation, because my mind moves like a movie theater. Like I'm always in, I almost feel like eCarrierCheck, because of the way he asked this, is a dance.
Okay.
I wonder if there should be a dance, or my kids do the gritty to breakfast.
Yeah.
Getting
out of bed,
like, it's like, we're just getting it. You know what I mean? Like, I just
biscuits
wonder,
and gravy.
yeah,
okay.
yeah, let's go. Let's get it done. I haven't used the site for a year and a half now, but still loyal. Tyler Killer, we just love you being here, brother. Man. You're just a great dude. And he always brings some interesting value, which I appreciate.
I was going to say that too, yeah.
Always some good value. Big fan of it. I can't believe you just friggin' $56,000 friggin' dollars in your truck. What does that buy, by the way? I don't even know what 56,000 buys.
Yeah.
You know, I always heard, like, if you blow up your engine, it's a good 25 to 30.
Right.
Josh would probably know this too, if in there. You know, if you blow out your tranny, that's like 15, but yeah. 56 grand. You must have just did the whole world.
Dan, for sure. I'll send you an email.
And I would love to refer them to you. Let's connect. Dan, what's up, brother? Hallpay.io. Yeah, I've seen this. Mm-hmm. I think Hallpay is like have you looked up Hallpay?
No, but I thought I've seen the email looks familiar, and I know the company. I've been on your
Evolve LinkedIn. Digitally, digital freight and finance and load tech. Awesome. Oh, I like this. I like the purpose. Enabled to thrive the transparent financing with software. So definitely out there to I'm a big fan. Yep. Comfreight.com has become Hallpay.io.
I love that.
They're out helping people, you know, with cash. And I think that's more important than ever. Yeah. You know what I mean? Especially right now. You know what I mean? So depends on the state you're in the shop you're at, anywhere from 20 to 100K.
Gotcha.
Why does it depend on the state?
That's interesting, yeah.
Is there a tax thing I don't know about? How does eCarrierCheck work? We built a software essentially to help you find the right relationships that work for you. So you can find carriers not only by vetting them, but by equipment and by area. And you can just export all that. You can do the brokers, same thing. You can go out and find all the brokers. And then shippers, we have a scraping and bill of lading database. It's incredible. And we are working on building the largest leads platform in this industry. And so that's something that we have done. So eCarrierCheck, it's also month to month. There's no contracts. We want to help you when it makes the most sense. But in the brokering world, you either need trucks or you need shippers. So we built them both.
Right. One of my favorite things that we don't flex enough is Jared built this site because of his experience freight brokering. So this site was built by a freight broker who has been in the game, and I don't mean to date you, or I know you got a little bit of gray hair.
I know. I don't want to talk about it.
Nearly 15 plus years. Right?
I'm good at guessing ages, though.
Yeah, you are good at that.
I'm wearing a tux.
So
I'm freaking wearing it. Next thing.
Everything you see is like pain points from Jared. Everything that he needed. When the low boards went down, he relied on eCarrierCheck. So think of that. You know, what you will there. Let's see what Jerome says.
Absolutely.
How can I get? Yeah.
Josh, throw your email in here, or everybody can email us at support@eCarrierCheck.com, and we'll connect you. Either one, we're fine.
Yeah, we're meeting with Josh next week, and
taxes.
So I can if you just shoot us an email at eCarrierCheck support. If Josh wants to put his email in there, that's cool as well. Joshua, thanks, brother.
Yeah,
that's awesome of you.
I love it. It was a good day.
It was.
A lot of good questions. Love the audience. Hope everybody's having a great friggin' week. Just keep grinding. I know it's Wednesday, but just keep grinding. Whether you're trying to find more shippers, there it is right there. You're trying to find more shippers. You're trying to find more carriers. You're just trying to vet somebody, whatever it is. You know, whether you're using eCarrierCheck or not, we hope you came here today and got some value.
Yeah.
That's what we hope.
100%. Yeah. Appreciate that. You guys send us an email, eCarrierCheck support.com. We'd love to meet you, hear your story.
When you're giving away a subscription.
I am giving away a
subscription. So hit them up.
Hit us up. Yeah. I know I didn't see a lot of emails in the chat, but there's still time. I'll pick the winner on Friday.
Yep.
But send us an email. Say you're at the show. You're interested. Let's get you right.
Yeah, I love it.
Thanks everyone for the questions. You know, be sure to check out DIY Semi. You guys, awesome.
I know we're gonna have to have this cat on and talk about business credit.
Because
he talks. I love that. We're gonna get Adam. We're reaching out. We're gonna have a call.
We're gonna set up the profile picture for the next live. That's how I love it, man. See you, Ty Killer. Appreciate you guys.
Have a good weekend. Have a good week. Yeah.